All right, this is Calibos, and we are playing Stoneblock 2. And we are kind of in the process of automating our AE2 system. At least having it make itself so that we don't have to. So, when we last left our intrepid heroes, we were trying to get everything going. So we have, we're making it'll store up to 2,000 of these engineering circuits and 2,000 of these logic circuits. We still haven't automated the calculation press, but we'll get to that. So now this one, we're going to go ahead and say we want to export stuff. We probably actually want to... Let's set up a few things before we kind of do this, because we're going to need to have a couple more steps that we need to do. And we'll leave that in there and leave that in there, and yeah, and that's going to be great. So we need to upgrade. We want to make our tier 7 upgrades, I think. 5. Glowstone. That's a little weird. So we'll leave that recipe in there, and then we're going to come back here and grab these. And we're going to make a bunch of these tier 7 upgrades, because we have a lot of emeralds available. Clear that. So we're going to run in here, and we're going to set this up so that these do not absolutely roll over and die, as far as... We don't want to delete any of these. We probably don't need to do those, but I'm doing it anyway. Doing it anyway. This requires the calculation stuff. So do we have any of the calculation ones in there? Nope. We're going to have to go make some. Or we have them in here. Calculation. Huh. Oh, I'm carrying them around. Carrying them around. That's what we want to do. So let's put these in so that they have a home in the system. Now, our next goal is a little bit of auto crafting. So I've got some of these from loot boxes. We're talking about the 64K storage components here. So we want to make a crafting unit. And a crafting coprocessor. So coprocessor is pretty easy. And then we want a 64K crafting storage. This is kind of like RAM specifically used for building. Hold on, 64. So we're just going to grab those out because I didn't realize I had an extra one. So that gets us another thing. Item storage, ME controller. We did that one. Oh, we didn't have the drive first. Okay, so we're going to break this, and it's going to be very unhappy with us. Okay, it's not as unhappy as I thought it was going to be. So, let's grab that. So, we'll probably do these, but we won't really use them. Well, we might use the fluid ones, actually. I kind of had a thought about using the fluid ones. So let's make a molecular assembler. Molecular assembler. Certus quartz. Certus quartz. So what the molecular assembler is it's basically like the AE2 crafting table. Now, unlike a regular crafting table, it doesn't make stuff on its own. I mean, I don't think you can anyway. It's supposed to be autonomous crafting. Okay, let's... It's not really chunk loading, but when I next update the pack, I'm just going to add a chunk loader mod to it so that we don't have to hassle with that, because it's pretty unfortunate. So let's look at a molecular assembler again. We're going to go ahead and need some of the quartz glass, and that will actually give us 2 molecular assemblers. Alright, so we have 2 molecular assemblers, which we can go ahead and claim. And then we have a... Oh, wait. Can we pull the thing out? Yeah, but it breaks it. And we're not interested in doing that. Crafting, because we're... Okay, there we go. So one of the reasons I'm not interested in breaking this is because we're going to need more anyway, and I don't see any particular reason to break something that we're about to use. So this is a terrible place to put it. It is, and it kind of like... I don't think it's connected there. Is it connected there? Must be connected there. I hope it's connected there. Storage bus. Storage bus. Or not a storage bus. An interface. Interface. So interfaces are pretty cool. When combined with a molecular assembler, and we're also going to need a pattern terminal. Wow, my inventory is so full. It's going to be less of an issue in just a bit. Exchanging air gadget. We can get rid of that. I think that has a home. It should have a home. Why does that not have a home? I don't know. We're going to make some of this smart cable. Which smart cable do we have in here? None. Okay, well, fine. Smart cable. Alright, so we have that. So the idea is that that each one of these interfaces like so. So if I make 2 more molecular assemblers, so each one of the interfaces takes up a channel, but the molecular assemblers don't. Space. So what that means is that we can have up to 8 interfaces, and as long as they're touching the molecular assemblers, they count as far as stuff. Like, they count as far as a crafting thing. So, and this is kind of why I was not super pleased about how I have this set up. This is going to be kind of messy. And I regret messy. Cobble. Not because I'm very organized, but because I'm aware that a messy setup gets really hard to track later. You can lose track of where everything is super fast. Smirt. So again, this is kind of our attempt to make the system craft itself. So we want to go kind of over there. You know, if I take this one higher, I can just go into the ceiling. If I'm paying attention to where I'm standing, I don't fall to my death. So we'll go up. I'm kind of trying to give myself space, which is the whole deal with that. Alright, so let's hop down. Get our cable. So we're going through the wall just to the side of the door. Alright, so let's go ahead and do this. And that. We're gonna need some more dense cable, guys. On the other hand, we are not necessarily going to need a lot more of it, because all we really have to do is connect this up. And we should be good. So cable runs there, so we can do this. And now we'll run down, get some more dense cable, and finish this. Right. I don't know if anybody else is starting to feel like we're actually starting to make progress. Stone. But I feel like we are. Didn't we have like stone covers around here somewhere? Facade. There they are. I just have trouble seeing them. They just blend into the general gray of everything for me. So we'll break that. So we want an actual stone there, an actual stone there, and then the stone facade there and there. And we're going to run back to this side and do basically the same thing. So we'll go actual stone, dense smart cable, stone, facade, and like so. I could actually just put it straight into the walls, but knowing me, when I need to move them, I will just forget where everything is. So that's not a fun plan. Our next step here is we're actually going to need another terminal. So normally I would already have panels and stuff like that, but we do not because I used them. So we need a regular illuminated panel, which is going to require some of this, and we can get that from here. Let's chuck that in there. Let's grab this really quick. Get rid of some of those. So we want an illuminated panel. I'm going to go ahead and grab the regular one, otherwise we'll spend time looking for it. The regular one is going to require some quartz glass. So we'll go for illuminated panel again. That gives us 3, at least in this pack. I was just watching somebody the other day who was trying to make it, and we're just going to want one of these. So we're going to want formation core. And then we're going to want another quartz. Quartz. That'll give us an annihilation core. Terminal. We just want a regular terminal. That's that. Then we're going to want a pattern terminal. Pattern terminal is actually going to require crafting terminal, which is going to require that. Which is going to require one of these. Alright, and now we can make one of these. There we go, pattern terminal. So, what this does for us, we need interface. So what kind of terminals do we have? So we're also going to want an interface terminal, really. 28 channels, we've got enough here. Really? Smart cable. So, interface terminal, pattern terminal. So now we're going to want patterns. pattern. Specifically, we want the blank patterns. We'll do that. Now we have 6 blank patterns. So the pattern terminal, we put the patterns in, and it has 2 modes. We have the crafting pattern, and then we have the processing pattern. Crafting pattern is more like what you'd use for a crafting terminal or a crafting station, crafting table, etc. So what we can do is we can tell it to make quartz glass. We'll need 5 Certus quartz and 4 glass, and then we encode the pattern. Then we have 2 options. We can either run over here and throw it in the interface, or we can use the interface terminal, look at our molecular assemblers, and toss that in. So now that is actually sitting around in one of these. I have no idea which one. It's sitting around in this one. So now whenever it needs to make a, so if we look up quartz glass now, quartz glass, you see it has an image here and a little icon, underneath the icon it says craft. So we are now able to craft these. So we can go ahead and say our quartz fiber here, have a recipe for our quartz fiber, and then we can go ahead and also do for our fluix. You'll recall that we have to actually craft our fluix. We can have that, and then for our fluix cables we can do this. And now for the most part it will actually make our fluix cables from scratch. Then we can go ahead and tell it a crafting table, like so, because we'll need crafting tables for a lot of our projects. Another thing, as you'll recall, we'll need pistons. And we can chuck pistons in here. So we're going to need to set up just quite a lot of things, and the more basic stuff we set up, the more likely we are to have all of the things that we need for later, more complicated projects. So there's a lot of things that require pistons. One of the things that I will typically do is I will make a pattern for patterns. So you notice that it's switching back and forth. If you hold shift while it's switching, you can actually pick the one that it's supposed to use, but otherwise you can go ahead and go Certus quartz and just select it, and then tell it to, this little button here says you can allow substitutions or prevent. So I have not had a lot of good luck with applied energistics being able to handle substitutions. I have not. So another thing that's weird, you'll notice that we have the pattern here, but we can't pull it out because it doesn't actually have all of the things necessary. So if we go for a pattern and we put the design in here, you'll notice that we are in fact missing 1 quartz glass. So now we can make it, but without having something in the system specifically call for it, it won't call for it at all. Where? Patterns. Oh, because there's no location for it. That is the other problem. Is there has to be a location for it to go to before it'll come back. So we'll fix that by doing this. So this is not typically what I would recommend doing, but it's kind of where we're at now. So we still have 30 channels left. So drive. We actually need 64K storage cell. Okay, let's pull out the glass because we'll need it really quick. So this puts in here, and it will hold 63 types of items, and it'll hold 64K of them. So we're actually going to go in here to the crafting status, and we're going to cancel it. And then we're going to ask for more. Quartz glass. Let's see, pattern. Alright, so we're going to make a pattern for patterns. And that means now we can simply ask for patterns. So we can say, please give us 10, and it will craft them. So our crafting is not really very fast right now. One, we don't have a lot of effectively memory at it. So you remember our little crafting crow processor and processor over here in the middle of nowhere. So we only have 64K to do it with. Plus, if we look, you'll notice that this has 5 slots in it for acceleration cards. So once we start knocking out acceleration cards, we can make all of our crafting just a bit faster. So there's a lot of kind of little interim steps that we're going to need to make, and we can make all of those steps later because we are at the end of the episode. So we've actually made quite a lot of progress. We did a little bit of questing and stuff. We have things that we have accomplished, and we got another torch launcher because we totally needed torch launchers. So at this point now we can actually just kind of dump all of our garbage into the system because everything has a home now. Just stand here and do this and just watch everything fit. It's crazy, right? Everything fits. But I'm glad you guys showed up. I hope you liked the episode. If you did, go ahead and leave me a like somewhere. You know, maybe even on this video. If you didn't, don't. Simple as that. Questions, comments, concerns can all go below. And look, my inventory is neat. Isn't that nuts? Now it's dirty again. Alright. You folks have a great night.